We welcome now Trey Smith, Director of Talent Solutions at Accelerate Mississippi. Trey, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, great to be here. Glad you had me on.
Yeah, man. So this ought to be a target-rich environment for Accelerate Mississippi. Lots of smart people running around and lots of organizations who need skilled workers.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what we just got through talking about in the main ballroom there. These are smart people indeed.
Yep.
Aerospace is a very highly skilled industry, and it's a lot of fun working with those folks because it does stretch what we currently have in our talent pipeline.
Yeah.
And so it allows us to do some different things, especially at Accelerate Mississippi, where we traditionally are looking at your welders and a lot of your skilled trades, and aerospace kind of takes that to a different level. Now your shipbuilding side, it's a volume game, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's also a lot of advanced skill sets needed there, but it's volume and with some really, really cool needs that they have.
So, Trey, tell us exactly what your role is at Accelerate Mississippi as Director of Talent Solutions.
Gladly. So, the office was created 5 years ago, and then about a year and a half ago, we implemented this Talent Solutions piece of the office. Courtney Taylor became Executive Director in March of 24, and I came in April. It was on April Fool's of 2024, so I guess we're kind of seeing what that means. But so my role, come in and develop this customized training wing of the office to really attract companies to come to Mississippi. It's something that the state had never done. Other states around us, competing states, they have these services that allow companies to kind of pick and choose what trainings they need and develop training as they need. So we needed that in Mississippi. My background's in human resources and manufacturing, dealt with a lot of training, worked at Pearl River Community College, so got to see that side of the world. And coming over here to the state level, I can now work with these companies, and my team can work with these companies. They're looking at Mississippi, and we can tailor training programs to meet their needs. We can also help with the talent acquisition component if they're a startup and they don't have the HR team internally. So we can build all that out. We can build out the strategic plans. We can put it in place, and we can actually do it.
Yeah. So kind of a combination, if you will, educational arm and also some placement services sort of as well, it sounds like.
Yeah, so we're broken out. The office has 5 different divisions now. We're really looking at ways to, diversify our portfolio to be more efficient with how we handle all the different things that come through us. There's a lot of dollars that flow through, federal dollars, state dollars. So we have a grants management arm that really handles the funding side. Then we have this talent solutions piece that's a pretty large part of the office now, because it's we see an opportunity to be very assertive and aggressive with economic development projects. But we have our workforce innovation department, and then we have data and insights. So we make all of our decisions are driven by data, of course.
Sure.
We have to be smart with how we're spending taxpayer dollars and how we're allocating those, and then we also have our communications department that's getting the word out on some of these programs that we put in place.
Yeah. So do you feel like that Accelerate Mississippi maybe fills a bit of a void that exists within the educational community, or are you more of an augmenter to that?
Augmenter, definitely. When I think about workforce training, because that's the space that I play in, right?
Yeah.
We have 15 community colleges across the state,
yep.
And they all have workforce departments that handle their existing industry. They work on these economic development projects too. What we're looking at is, with the demand that we have in job growth and these opportunities of these companies looking at Mississippi to start doing business, there's a capacity issue. There's a bandwidth issue with existing infrastructure, with the training entities that we have across the state. So, we're here to fill those gaps, to help grow that capacity to be able to provide those trainings to all the new employees that we're going to have over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
We already have a gap. We've recognized that, but we know it's going to continue to grow, and so we're trying to be very proactive in how we attack that.
Employers today, I mean, they're really looking to hire folks that could come in and be productive, if not day one, in a very short period of time.
I've lived that life.
Me
in
too.
human resources, and it's I mean that you want everybody to be a purple unicorn, and they're going to jump right in and be the best, right? It's not reality. However, if we get to, and I just think about the K-12 space, specifically, maybe late junior high or early high school, if we can get to those students and educate them, expose them to what opportunities are out there. When I think about advanced manufacturing, there's some really cool stuff that we're doing from the north part of the state to right here in Biloxi, and they just don't know.
Yeah.
They have, and my kids included, they've never set foot in a manufacturing plant that we have today, and it's a lot different than where my grandfather worked.
No doubt about it.
Right? So it's just completely different. We've got to expose them.
Yeah.
We've got to give them those opportunities and those pathways, explain those. Career Coach program does a good job of reaching some of those students that otherwise won't know what's out there, right?
So when companies that are prospects to locate operations in Mississippi, maybe they're expanding into the state, or it could be a startup idea that's looking to create their company in the state of Mississippi. This is one of the things they look at very hard is just available skilled talent that they can bring on to staff the company.
100%. I like to think that workforce is the most important component of any economic development project.
Yeah.
Now, initially, that's not exactly true. They're going to look at infrastructure and supply chain capabilities. But workforce, when it comes to the table as part of that conversation, it is very critical, right? The people are going to be the most important part of their organization every time.
Yeah.
So at some point they do get really, really interested in workforce. So it's critical that we have, I guess, that path to how they're going to hire the people and how are they going to train them. So providing that labor shed data for the areas that they're looking at is really critical. Looking at commuting times, which Mississippi is uniquely positioned because people are willing to drive 60 miles or more for a really good job. But yeah, the workforce component, it's key. We try to be very transparent with this is the realities of in certain areas, education system, and here are the things that we're doing as the state to address those gaps.
And it becomes a competitive factor when there are companies that are looking for a location to make an investment, and we're competing with other states, other cities in other states, other communities. That becomes a big factor.
100%. It's I was listening to Bill Cork last
NDA
week.
director, yeah.
Correct. He was talking about the project pipeline that they have, and it's pretty enormous.
Yeah, it's the biggest they've ever had.
It's unbelievable, and I've always asked, we just need to be at the table early so we can understand and be proactive.
Yep.
I don't want any part of that volume right now. So we're brought in at the appropriate time, but we also learn when we lose a project to another state, there's various factors, but that can certainly be a piece of it is a concern about the workforce. So we do everything we can at Accelerate, partnering with the community colleges to ensure that, yes, we recognize that this is a challenge. If it's not enough people, if it's not enough of the right skill sets in that area, we do I think a really good job of explaining and demonstrating how we're gonna address that and how we're gonna eliminate that from being an issue with their company.
Yeah, and we're seeing everybody I've talked to today, because we focused a lot on this event, which brings together the private sector, the public sector, the education community. That pace of collaboration seems to be strengthening and intensifying.
Yeah, it's so important. I've lived in that private sector life. Now I'm on the state side, and communication is so important for these resources to understand what the industry needs are.
Right.
We have to hear it firsthand. And again, it's kind of an advantage in Mississippi too, is that we are small. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, it's true.
Those face-to-face communications happen more frequently, say, in some of your bigger metropolitan areas in other states. So we're making very concerted efforts to get people together. We're hosting table meetings along with MEC and MMA in the next couple of weeks across all 8 ecosystems.
Yep.
And that's
Very
an
cool.
opportunity for industry to come in and tell us what they need, share best practices, and give us some takeaways that we can address to solve their problems.
Great stuff. Trey Smith
Yeah.
with Accelerate Mississippi, Director of Talent Solutions. Appreciate you coming on, Trey.
Hey, thanks for
a lot.
having me.
Yep.
All
We're
right.
stepping aside for a break. Coming right back with John McKay, President and CEO of the Mississippi Manufacturers Association.